Hey everyone, and welcome back to another one of these Wampa's Lair podcast discussion videos. I am one of the hosts from the Wampa's Lair podcast, Jason Hunt, and this discussion video I want to address some thoughts that I've been having on the Lucasfilm Disney merger and the resulting news of episodes 7, 8, and 9 that are going to be coming. First of all, I just want to say that this is exciting news. I'm super excited about all this stuff. So, but I have been watching some of the fan reactions, some responses people have been having, and, not just within the Star Wars fan community, but also, people outside of it, friends, coworkers, things like that. I've been asking a lot of people what their thoughts are on this. And so I've come across several issues that I want to address, but I've picked three big main issues that I want to cover real quick. And two of them go together really, really well, so I'll probably talk about those as one. But and that is, why would George Lucas sell and have more movies made that way, and why would he sell it to Disney and have Disney make more movies? And if we're going to take George at his word, he has been wanting to retire for many moons ago, yes, something to that effect. But he's been wanting to retire and go and make small experimental films, quoting quotations here, that no one is going to want to watch. That's George saying no one wants to watch the little creative films he wants to do. He wants to be able to do that. He wants to be able to retire and enjoy being retired. And he also wants to pass on Star Wars before he dies, because Star Wars is going to live on after George. That's not in dispute. And he wants to pass it off so that he can help shape the way that it will be, so he can help shape the way it'll live on after him while he's still here. And if he didn't, set it up with someone else, either, a very trusted person like Dave Filoni, or in this case of what he did in selling it to Disney to take care of, if he hadn't done that before he died, then Star Wars would have just sort of, there could have been a lot of things. It would have either, died a slow, horrible death of, nobody having interest in it anymore, or someone would take over and it would get just completely discombobulated and not be recognizable as Star Wars anymore. So he wants to pass it on in a way that he knows will be good for his story, in a way that he knows will be true to the spirit of Star Wars. And why Disney? Well, Disney happens to be the people that he chose, Disney and Kathleen Kennedy, who is now the president of Lucasfilm. And why Disney? Why? Well, because they have a proven track record of good family films, and that the imagination behind them, what's the word I'm looking for? The creative team behind them is has a well-proven track record. And Disney and Lucasfilm has had a good working relationship for at least 2 decades, probably more, which started, if I'm remembering correctly, with the Star Tours ride at the Walt Disney World parks, which, of course, as we all know, recently was revamped and is even better. I've ridden both the original and the new Star Tours, the Star Tours 2.0. The new one is amazing. You should go see it. You should go ride it if you ever get the chance. And they've had a great working relationship. They understand how Star Wars needs to be presented. And I've had a lot of people come up to me with concerns about Disney. How are they going to take the movies? I had one friend who said, I just hope they don't turn Star Wars into a Disney musical. And I was like, oh, okay, no, that's not going to happen. Disney's not going to take Star Wars and completely kidify it. Number one, that would totally ruin their brand, and they would have spent $4 billion for nothing. They're not going to buy a product, because that's what Star Wars is. They're not going to buy something just to change it so that all the fans go, "You've ruined it," and leave. Because then there's no way to make money off of it. So if they changed it, if they do anything like that, then they're shooting themselves in the foot. Because this is a business, and they want to make money. And the way to make money is to keep it in the same vein. And also, some people I've talked to have forgotten. 6-7 years ago, Disney bought Marvel. They've totally revamped the company. We've gotten some amazing films. Iron Man 2, Thor, Captain America, Incredible Hulk, and it all culminated this summer with The Avengers, by far my favorite movie of the summer. Yes, even more than The Dark Knight Rises, but that's a totally different topic. Of course, I haven't seen The Hobbit yet, so that's, not sure where that'll end up. But anyways, and The Avengers movie, at least to me, had a very similar style and spirit that we've come to get from Star Wars. I mean, Robert Downey Jr. plays Iron Man kind of like Harrison Ford plays Han Solo. Okay? Except, Iron Man's a lot smarter with all his technical wizardry. Although Han is very capable when it comes to fixing the Falcon, usually. Anyways, back on topic. But it had a very similar style in the fact that we got some great characters, we got some great action, we got some amazing music to go with it, and it was fun. It was fun. It was a great story. I know some people would disagree with me on that, but I thought it was great. But it had the fun, it had the humor, it had the action, and it had, all the different things going on. Especially with that end battle, you had, Hulk and Iron Man going off and, taking out things, Iron Man going off. You had Hulk and Thor working together. You had Captain America, Hawkeye, and Black Widow working together. And then they were all split off, doing all different things. And everything had to go just right for them to work. And, that's kind of what Star Wars has made popular. So, with the success that Disney has had with its Marvel products, and with the way that it's sort of paying homage to Star Wars in a way, in the way that it's coming out and produced, I think Disney is a good home for Lucasfilm. And just so everyone knows, even though Kathleen Kennedy, the president of Lucasfilm, is going to be reporting to the higher-ups at Disney, Lucasfilm is still, while it's under the umbrella of Disney, it is still its own entity. It's still, no one is moving, none of the employees are leaving their workspaces. The, Skywalker Ranch, the ranch at Big Rock, that's all staying put. They're all doing their work there still. So, unless something dramatic changes, I don't see that happening. Marvel is working in largely the same way. They just have the, under the Disney umbrella, they have the money, they have the creative power of Disney behind them so that they can get out their products, which is great. It's fantastic. And just a little side note here. We've been talking about a live-action TV series for a long time. George has been talking, well, yeah, we've got, 50 scripts. They're sitting on the shelf. Well, now that Lucasfilm is part of Disney, we could see both the new movies, 7, 8, 9, and beyond, apparently, is what we're going to be getting. And we could see a TV series. And they could both be coming out at the same time now. Because Lucasfilm was not a big enough company to handle producing a feature-length movie and a television series at the same time, as far as I'm aware. But now they have Disney who can do that. And which means that Clone Wars may end up moving from Cartoon Network next season to Disney XD. That's a possibility. We don't know. Detours most likely will end up on a Disney channel of some sort, probably Disney XD. A live-action Star Wars show could wind up on ABC because that is owned by Disney. Disney owns a lot of things. They own Marvel, they own the Muppets, they own Pixar, they own ABC Family, they own ESPN. All very successful companies, all very good at what they do. Now they own Lucasfilm. Lucasfilm was joining this family of very successful companies that is now all living under one umbrella. So this is a good thing. The creative power, the creative machine that Disney has at their disposal can just take the stories and the ideas that Lucasfilm and Kathy Kennedy, with George Lucas's, supervision. He still has a creative consultant, which just means he's going to be more involved than he thinks he's going to be. But they can tell their stories, and they can get it out without having to be worried about how much money they're spending or how long it could take, because they've got the financial backing, they've got the creative manpower that they can get all these products out that they really want to. Okay, so that's those two issues. The other issue that I'm running into a lot, and that's very much within the same vein, or it's very much within the Star Wars fan community, excuse me, not in the same vein, and that is the concern about the expanded universe. And a lot of people are going, well, is this going to ruin my expanded universe? Is, the hundreds of dollars I've spent on all these books and these comics, thousands of dollars, I'm sure, for a lot of people, is that going to be all wasted? Is that going to be something that, if they're not going to be, official canon anymore, is that just going to be something that they're not worth anything? And then, and I can't answer that question, because I don't know. We don't know what the story is going to be about. We don't know if it's going to reference anything. We do know it's an original story. It's not an adaptation. That much they have said. But we don't know how much, if any, they're going to reference any of the expanded universe material. George has said that in addition to, his story treatments for episodes 7, 8, and 9, they are now going to have access to what he calls the treasure chest of Star Wars stories, which include the books and the books and the comic books, novels and comics. So that's all going. We could see TV, movie adaptations of these at some point, which would be really cool. But we don't know. That's something we can't say with any certainty. And as far as the film itself, how much of an explosion is that going to cause in the expanded universe? Well, obviously we don't know. But, there's some speculation as to how far in the future after Return of the Jedi is it going to take place. There's even been some speculation that says as much as 50 years, which, if they reference some of it and they don't do anything that interferes with some of the already established continuity, such as children and wives and, marriages and such, then that could just solve the whole problem. But we don't know. And that's the big thing, is we don't know. And I've heard talk on our brother podcast, well, at least from the hosts of our brother podcast, Star Wars Beyond the Films, Nathan P. Butler and Mark Herleman, the defender of the EU. They've been talking about the possibility of the expanded universe becoming its own separate continuity. And you could get a film continuity, you can get an expanded universe continuity, and they can live in parallel universes. Which I think would be fine, and I would be fine in that opinion. Of course, I'm not as heavily invested into the expanded universe as some people are, especially the past couple of years, because I just don't have the money to go buy books. So, not that I wouldn't love to, but as far as a separate continuity is concerned, and one of our listeners, I believe it was Christoph Keitzman, on our Facebook page when I was, wanting to get people's opinions, was saying, what was it? I'm sorry, I'm blanking. I'm sorry, Christoph, but I'm blanking on what exactly was it you were saying. Oh, yes, he was talking about how the expanding universe was expanding and added so much depth and so much story to the 6 films, and how, you know, throwing those aside could would be a bad thing, or could be a bad thing. But with what we could be getting here, with the amount of films, the amount of TV, made for TV films or TV shows, we could expand a film continuity to give that kind of depth that the expanded universe has been able to offer. Now, am I saying that I want all of the expanded universe to just go die? No, I'm not saying that at all. But I am saying that as long as it, and this is my opinion, I'm saying as long as, in my opinion, if it becomes its own separate entity, if it stands on its own and it says this is our view of the Star Wars universe, this is our history of the Star Wars universe, then that's fine. That makes everything for me to be perfectly fine, because then I can go, oh, well, I want to go see what this says. But then, I've always got the movies. I've got the visuals of the movies and the TV shows and everything. And as far as the amount of stuff out there, I know people express concern about oversaturation. Blah, blah, blah. And one of my friends said that with this merger, is that Star Wars could become now the next Bond franchise. Bond has over 20 films, maybe 30. I don't remember how many off the top of my head, but it's got a ton. And he said that with this, Star Wars will become like a Bond franchise, which I think is great, because that means I can go and I can see Star Wars till the day I die, and it'll be new. So I know I may or may not have dissuaded anyone's fears, especially in terms of the EU, because there's just so much we don't know. And of course now we're getting all these articles that says, oh, well, such and such leaked source says this, and my unnamed source inside Lucasfilm, inside Disney, whatever, says that this is going to be the story treatment. Take everything that you read from now until we get an official release from Disney and Lucasfilm with a grain of salt. A big grain of salt. And while some of the ideas I've already read about, well, this is what the story is going to be about, are fantastic, and I would love to see those ideas, I'm not going to believe any of them until I see proof of it. So, and that was my whole feeling with, all the rumors that were around for 789. Everyone's like, oh, well, 789 could come out this time, and 789 could come out that time, and I've seen that so many times that I was just like, yeah, whatever, 789, I'll believe it when I see it, and now I've seen it, and so I believe it. But now with the rumors coming out, it's nice to speculate. It's fun to speculate, but take everything with a grain of salt, because all it is speculation until we get an official release. So, I've talked for a long time. This is a very long video, and I'm sorry for that, but there's my thoughts on some of it. I may make another one of these videos down the road to address the subject again, but, we'll see. This is the first video that I'm recording specifically for our new YouTube channel. And it should be youtube.com/Wampa's Lair podcast, I think. But this video will also be posted on our Facebook page, which is facebook.com/Wampa's Lair podcast. You can follow us on Twitter at twitter.com/Wampa's Lair. Or you can send us an email at wampaslairpodcast@gmail.com. So, until next time, this is Jason, and we'll see you on the next episode of the Wampa's Lair. And end.